There's a reason the CART Toyota Atlantic Championship is the most prestigious open-wheel development series in the world. It consistently delivers some of the best racing to be found anywhere. That was demonstrated once again 2 weeks ago in Portland, Oregon. Round 5 of the 29th edition of this fabled series saw the 5th winner in as many races. From the moment he secured the pole, Luis Diaz made the race at the City of Roses his own, taking the lead and never looking back, delivering the second checker of the year to the Doricat racing team. Just a week prior, the Atlantics had returned to Laguna Seca for the 26th chapter of its Monterey, California novella. There, a young man learned that Dame Fortune can change her mind. Ryan Hunter-Reay broke a 3-race string of disappointment by watching the black and white salute him as he completed the last lap. Just a week before that, the 1-mile oval at Milwaukee, Wisconsin, known for a certain heritage itself, had welcomed the Atlantics to their first left-turn-only affair of 2002. There, a young man driving in only his second big-time event showed the way. Californian Roger Yasukawa demonstrated his understanding of the old racing maxim, to finish first, you must first finish. Nearly 2 months earlier, the streets of Long Beach had witnessed a classic open-wheel duel for which the Atlantics are so famous. A fight that included one heck of a pass for the lead. Thank you very much. That move by Michael Valiente and his number 19 set the bar for real man racing this year and served notice to all that this could be one tough season indeed. Finally, the other Monterey had started the season for the elite of the CART development ladder system by giving everyone a lesson of driving through the wet. Taking the weather as a personal challenge, rookie John Fogerty gave a lesson to all behind him in how to survive less than ideal conditions. His performance was the automotive equivalent of singing in the rain. So as we come to Chicago, Illinois for round 6, the question seems to be not whether we'll see a 6th winner in as many races, but rather which one of the many talented members of the class of 2002 will step to the front, who will claim the second oval of the year. Hello everyone and welcome to the Chicago area for round 6 of 12 in the 2002 CART Toyota Atlantic Championship, a series which to date has not seen a repeat winner. These 5 men, Fogerty, Valiente, Yasukawa, Hunter-Reay, and Diaz, have set a series record. Never in the nearly 3 decades-long tradition of the Atlantics have the first 5 races been won by 5 different drivers. Could it be that a 6th driver might decide to apply today for admission to this exclusive club? And the man who would least like to see a new member added to that fraternity is John Fogerty, coming off a 3rd-place finish at Portland that moved him into the point lead, but by just 2 points over 2nd-place Michael Valiente. He's returning to the oval tracks for the last time this season, but it's one he's never raced on before. John, how are you going to keep that points lead?
The best way for me to do it is just to finish in front of everybody else. It's going to be tough. I've never been here, but I was able to come and spot for my brother in the Barber Dodge Pro Series last year, so hopefully that'll give me a little insight to what the track's all about, but it's going to be tough for sure.
Good luck today, John. Now let's move further down the pit lane, and my colleague Brian Till standing by with Michael Valiente.
Well, Bob, the Lynx crew ready to move Michael Valiente's car out onto the grid. He's been one of the most consistent runners all year long, but he did lose the points lead in Portland. Michael, it's been since Long Beach since you've won a race. How do you approach this last oval of the season?
Well, we struggled a little bit in Milwaukee, but in the race I think we had a great car. We came from 17th up to 5th until we hit traffic where I lost a few positions. So I think we found something in Milwaukee which I think will translate into this race. And more than anything, we need race wins to regain the points lead.
Well, the Lynx team going to be trying to be consistent, keep this car up front. They've got a new horse underneath them this weekend, a new chassis that they'll run the rest of the year. Scott Pruitt.
Roger Yasukawa is one of those drivers who came to this Atlantic Series late this year, but had great success. He's 3rd in the championship right now. What's it going to take to win today?
It's going to take a lot. I mean, obviously the team's great on oval, and I won at Milwaukee, so we've got a good setup here. I just have to go out there and keep my focus up and try to win the race.
Roger Yasukawa looking to win here this weekend. Bob?
Thanks, Scott. There are, of course, a number of young men who would not only love to win this afternoon, but who have the very real potential to do just that. We'll meet some of them in a moment and learn how they intend to gain entrance to the winner's circle. Stay with us. Coverage of the CART Toyota Atlantic Championship, the elite of the CART development ladder, is being brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. We'll invite you to visit the Toyota Atlantic Championship website at www.toyotaatlantic.com. Back at Chicago Motor Speedway, moments from the command to start engines. I'm with Jonathan Macri, one of a number of Toyota Atlantic Championship drivers who've been knocking on victory's door but haven't been able to gain entrance yet. Jonathan, can you do it here at Chicago?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have an extremely fast car here. I mean, we always run really good. Last year in the race, we ran really quick here. So, I mean, definitely we've been proven to be fast on the ovals, and I think we have an excellent chance of doing it this weekend.
Well, good luck. Now let's meet another contender on this oval track. Once again, here's Brian Till.
Alex Gurney comes into Chicago, one of the most consistent drivers in the 2002 Atlantic Championship, and were it not for a costly DNF in the first race of the season, he may actually be leading this championship. Alex, you're only down by 12, but it's going to take a win if you want to win this championship. When's that win going to come?
Hopefully this weekend. I think we got a good chance. I don't know, at winning. You know, we could win all the rest of them, really. All the street courses are really good. We have a good setup for those, and you know, hopefully get it started here and make a dent in John's lead.
A lot of confidence on the part of this Doricott team, but another driver that has a lot of confidence is standing by with Scott Pruitt.
And another driver who wants part of that winning action is right here with me, Rocky Moran Jr. Rocky, looking for that first win today in Chicago.
We really are, yeah. I think we'll have a good finish here. We're gonna, we don't have that much track time, but had a pretty good car before the Milwaukee race and didn't get to fully develop it. So I think we'll be good once we get going here, and just looking to stay in the top 3 in points and get a win.
We'll go out and win one today. Bob?
Thanks, God. Of course, Rocky Moran Jr., like this man, 2000 Toyota Atlantic champion Buddy Rice, have victories already under their belts in previous seasons. All you have to do is take a look at the men who have preceded this year's crop of young lions, and you can be assured that history just might be in the making today at Chicago Motor Speedway. We'll be back to take the green and see whether round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship can be won by a 6th different driver right after this. Welcome back to what is becoming a very hot day at Chicago Motor Speedway, pushing 90 degrees as we get set for the start of round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. And here's the way they will line up. On the pole, John Fogerty, winner of the season opener. He'll start alongside Alex Figge, the two drivers 4th and 5th in the morning warm-up. On row 2, the Long Beach winner, Michael Valiente, and 2000 Series champion, Buddy Rice. On row 3, Roger Yasukawa, who won on the Milwaukee Mile earlier this year, alongside his teammate, Ryan Hunter-Reay, the winner at Laguna Seca. On row 4 will be Luis Diaz, the winner at Portland a couple of weeks ago, starting next to Rocky Moran Jr. Now for Ryan Hunter-Reay, it has been a very eventful weekend. He suffered a heavy crash in Saturday practice, Brian.
You can see the car up against the inside wall. He got to get together with David Cutler. They thought they had cleared each other. The two cars made contact. Hunter-Reay came to the inside. Significant damage to the left side of that car, but they've gotten it repaired. He should be fast.
And he will start on row 3. Moving to row 5, Dave Cutler starts alongside Jonathan Macri. On row 6, it'll be rookie Ryan Dial from Scotland and Rodolfo Lavigne. For Dave Cutler, this is a very significant race.
49 times this number 26 car and its driver have started an Atlantic Championship event. And Dave Cutler, you're about to make it the 50th time.
Brian, it's a real privilege for me to be able to compete in the Atlantic Series. This is the greatest development series in the world, and it's a real thrill to be able to race number 50. I'm going to go out today and hopefully bring her home in a good position.
On row 7, Alex Gurney, a poor qualifying run for Dan Gurney's son. He'll start next to David Waringa in his home race. On row 8, Grant Riley and Valdemar Coronas. On row number 9, Carl Russo and Alex Garcia will line up. On row 10, it'll be Frank Dench and Sepp Koster from Belgium. On row 11, Eduardo Figueroa from Mexico, Nicolas Rondet, and all alone on row 12, Stefan Waugh, who makes a specialty of coming from the back of the field here at Chicago Motor Speedway. Now we have some onboard cameras to document today's race. On board with Rodolfo Lavigne, who finished 2nd on the Milwaukee Mile, so he could be a factor today, but he has some cars to pass ahead of him. Also carrying an onboard camera today, still subbing for the injured Joey Hand at DSTP Racing, Buddy Rice, the 2000 Series champion. Starting from the 4th spot. Those buildings on the right are part of the Hawthorne Race Course, a horse track for trotters next door. Right here at Chicago Motor Speedway, the track in the off-season is covered with dirt for thoroughbred racing. Now as we await the green flag, let's get downstairs to Scott Pruitt with a last-minute story.
Thanks, Bob. And a story is Roger Yasukawa set a blistering pace this morning. Qualified 5th, ran extremely well this morning, not for one lap, but for a whole string of laps. He won at Milwaukee. He's certainly one of the guys here to watch for this race this afternoon. And, oh, by the way, it's 107 ambient down here in pit lane. Bob?
And I thought it was 90. Sorry, Scott. Drink a lot of water today. And imagine what these drivers are going to go through. Bundled up in their fire retardant clothing. The temperature in the cockpit has to be over 120 degrees, I would guess. Brian, you've been there.
Oh, obviously it is very hot inside those cars, but I think the drivers are beginning to feel less and less of that heat. They're anticipating the start, and it's going to get crowded down in turn one, so their focus is on something else besides of how hot it is.
The track is long and narrow. The drivers call it a paper clip. Long straightaways, very tight turns. Lights are out on the safety car. They'll form up 2 by 2. We have had beautiful starts in the Toyota Atlantic Championship this year. It's a credit to all of the drivers. We'll see if they can do it again on a blistering hot day at Chicago Motor Speedway. On board with Buddy Rice.
It'll be interesting to watch this start. Fogarty has been able to go out and run fast right off the bat. He's starting on the pole.
The green waves. A little bit strung out, but the green waves as they head down into one.
Fogarty leads into one. Valiente got a great start. He's gone into P2. And the field makes it through 1 and 2 cleanly.
Out the back of Levine's car.
Great shot at the cars jockeying around there. This is a long race.
Oh.
Good side-by-side racing. These guys, as you pointed out, Bob, and we've got 2 cars together.
Up high in turns 3 and 4.
It looks like Alex Garcia and Carl Russo.
Yellow is out. One of the cars made the pit lane. Another is moving slowly down the front straight.
It's the 81 of Russo. You saw him spin up high.
There's Nick Ronday. Right rear wheel deranged. He's still on the racetrack, not the pit lane.
He'll limp that car around and bring it in. Not the way you want to start. Ronday, great success in the Barber organization, but he has struggled this year in his rookie season in an Atlanta car.
Many races in the Barber Pro Series. They stepped down the development ladder. Let's see if we can tell what happened.
You saw Russo get loose. Garcia tried to avoid it, and I think he probably came off the throttle there. His car got loose, and you see him spin down. Ronday gets collected. And I can't tell if he made it through there unscathed or not, but if he did, it was only a matter of inches.
That's what I'm wondering, is whether Stefan Wa's car is completely healthy. You see Ronday climbing out, 4 cars involved, and you saw what happens when you get off the rubbered-in racing line. Chicago Motor Speedway, rarely used for racing these days. In fact, their entire season was called off until the kart champ cars decided to promote their own event here in Chicago. But if you get off of that racing line, you are in danger of going around. We'll be back. Welcome back to Chicago Motor Speedway. Still under caution at round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. While we were away, Carl Russo and Alex Garcia pitted. Garcia is now out of the race. While we have a moment, here's Brian Till with a tech tip.
With the Toyota Atlantic Championship being the elite series in the kart development ladder, the drivers in this series, they learn to deal with technology. Most Atlantic machines carry an onboard computer system that's capable of monitoring 32 different sensors at almost 1,000 times per second. Sensors like wheel speed sensors, brake pressure and throttle position transducers, sensors that measure the front suspension travel, steering angle put in by the driver, engine components, and rear suspension movement. After a session, a driver comes in, the engineer sits down next to the car with his laptop computer. He plugs into the side and downloads all that information into his laptop. What's it mean to the engineer? He gets great information that he can use to make the car work better. And what's it mean to the driver? Well, he doesn't always like it. And why is that? That's because the engineer, he's always faster.
Well, if you had any doubt that these are high-tech race cars, that should dispel those doubts. The green is in the air once again. We are underway. And there's an attack. Valiente under Fogarty.
Fantastic restart on Michael Valiente's part. Very reminiscent of his pass for the lead at Long Beach. He got a great run, anticipated the restart, and now Hunter Ray alongside Fogarty.
Yeah, that concrete wall at Long Beach was coming up a lot faster than the one here in Chicago. Fogarty goes to third.
Still holding his breath from that pass from Valiente. What a great restart. Now, don't forget, and there's Yasukawa looking inside of Fogarty. Hunter Ray and Yasukawa as teammates were the fastest cars in this morning's warm-up. they found something. They've got a good setup on these race cars, and Fogarty looks like he is falling back into the clutches of Yasukawa.
And Yasukawa in number 9 with that day-glow stripe on it was significantly faster than his teammate, 0.2 of a second. Scott Pruitt.
I had a chance to talk to Roger, and what he said was, yeah, we found some stuff, but the biggest thing is we kind of got caught off our stride. We had that crash with Ryan's car, and unfortunately kind of got caught up with it, and we didn't really get a good rhythm going, and now things got turned around. We got a good rhythm, and now we're just going to move the front. Bob?
Well, he's got a car ahead of him on his march to the front. In fact, 2 of them, Yasukawa now 3rd behind Michael Valiente and Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Now there's a good look at Rick Cameron. Valiente is very happy this weekend. They have struggled for the past 4 or 5 races with a car that they could not find the problem with. The car was very nervous at turn in, and certainly on an oval you don't want that. They put a new chassis underneath Michael this weekend. He's been at the top of the charts in practice and in qualifying. He is very happy, and this is going to pay great dividends in his run for the championship. And look at Hunter-Reay down the inside, just drives past him. These Hilton cars were so fast at the Milwaukee Oval, and they're fast again here in Chicago.
Poor John Fogarty, he is now well out of his first race lead since he won the season opener in the wet in Monterrey, Mexico. He now runs 4th, and we have a yellow flag again. The Simple Green safety crew heads for the racetrack. A spin. No. Oh, boy.
Alex Figge, and how disappointing he has been. He was the fastest car in both practice sessions. Felt like they lost a little bit in qualifying by qualifying second, only 8 1/1000ths of a second off the pole. He told me before the race, I'm just going to drive clean, I'm going to drive smart, I want to get a good finish out of this, and obviously that is not to be today.
Looks like he hit the wall. Can't see damage, but it appears Alex Figge from Boulder, Colorado, and World Speed Motorsports, who started 2nd in the field, his race is now run. Down to Scott Pruitt.
I'm down here with, right in the middle of their pits, walking up to Mike. Mike, any idea what happened out there? He's talking again. Any idea what happened?
I was just getting bad restarts, you know. I don't know what happened down there yet. I'll have to talk to the driver when he comes in. He's going to come in. We're going to look at the nose and see if it's just the nose or not. But those restarts were killing us. He's a rookie. I mean, I think he's learning a lot right now.
Thanks. There you go. A lot of these guys are rookies, and there's a lot to learn here at Chicago. Bob?
Well, another example of what happens when you get up off that rubbered-in line down low. It's a temptation in these cars. The Champ cars are also running this weekend here at Chicago Motor Speedway. But these cars are significantly narrower in their track, and so the temptation to just move to the outside of that rubbered-in line can be too much. And if you get into the gray, it's likely you're going around. We'll be back. Welcome back to Chicago Motor Speedway. Bob Varsha, Brian Till, and Scott Pruitt with you for round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship for 2002. 1 lap to go, under caution for the 3rd time in this race, following a spin and wall contact from Alex Figge. This is the view from Buddy Rice's car.
On board with Rice, you can see him coming into turn 3 and 4, and Figge just a little high there. Back end comes around, car just a little loose. As you've alluded to, Bob, get out of that rubber in the middle of the corner and get up in the gray. You can lose the back end.
We expect the green this time around. Quickly to Scott Pruitt.
Stefan Dornick, engineer with Coronas, moving up extremely well, 16th to 8th.
Yeah, he's doing very well. He's very happy with the car at the moment, but it's going to be another 55 laps here. We have to be a little patient.
All right, best of luck. Bob?
Thanks very much, Scott. The field comes around, single file, ready for the green flag. It waves. We're back underway on lap number 19. And at 20, Valiente protecting his line.
Another great restart by Valiente all over the back of Hunter-Reay, but Hunter-Reay holds his position on board with Rice, working on Levine. Valiente has gotten great restarts. Buddy Rice shuffled to the back a little bit. He's moved back a little bit, but you can see the great battles going on. Levine up high.
Up the hill he goes, but he manages to keep it off the wall.
And he can breathe now that he's back down on the front straightaway, but that'll take your breath away as a driver. Getting up in that gray, and you saw Hunter-Reay with the lead there, and maybe a little vindication for what happened at Milwaukee where he checked out. Oh, we've got another car. That's Dave Cutler in his 50th start, 26 car there. You see him on the racetrack.
He has obviously backed it in and taken off the rear wing. Looks like there might be some left rear damage on it too.
See the thumbs up to the medical crew when they get to him. There it is.
Once again.
See the car get up there in the gray. The back end comes around, and it's gone.
Tough break for Dave Cutler in his 50th start. Scott Pruitt.
We're right down in the middle of that right now. Again, Stephen, any idea what happened to the other car out there?
Sorry?
Anything what happened with Cutler out there?
I didn't hear. He didn't say anything to us.
Just got away from him, got in a fence.
Sorry?
Just got away from him and got up in the fence.
Sorry, I didn't hear anything at all from him.
Okay, thanks. Bob?
All right, thank you, Scott. Dave Cutler climbs out. The drivers are told to open the visors of their helmet if they're okay, so that the safety team knows immediately the driver's condition, or at least the driver's impression of his own condition.
And very disappointing on Cutler's part. His 50th start in an Atlantic Championship event, and he has been very fast on the ovals this year.
Well,
Top 5 guy in Milwaukee in practice, but didn't have the finish he wanted, and obviously not the finish he wanted here.
Interesting story. Obviously an older man in a series full of young lions hungry to make their way up the ladder. For Dave Cutler, it's an exciting way just to exploit his love for motorsports. He simply loves racing these cars.
You know, and he's the quintessential gentleman. He does a great job, does a good job on the racetrack. He does a good job with faster traffic, and just got away from him here today and bit him.
So David Cutler's 50th start in the Toyota Atlantic Championship is now over. We are under caution once again. We'll take this opportunity for a break and return to Chicago Motor Speedway. Sweet home Chicago. Welcome back to Chicago Motor Speedway, still under caution. Round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. There is your leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay, over Michael Valiente in second place. We expect the green flag shortly. Scott.
I'm down here. I was going to grab a quick note with Rick. Just coming off the green. It's exciting. How's things going?
Everything seems to be all right now. The car's a little too much push, a little more push than we would like. So he's trying to dial it out right now. But it's a long race. The tires are going to get real hard. So he's got to hang in there right now and hope for a good finish.
How conservative does he have to be with the tires to make it make sense to the checkered flag?
Well, I think he has to be careful if he's trying to work traffic that doesn't pull the car down too much and use the tires up too much too early.
Well, down here they got to be cautiously optimistic with these tires, Bob.
All right, thank you, Scott. A lot of scrambling going on. Again, drivers experimenting with the high part of that racing line, and that is a dance with the devil.
But you heard him say, Rick Cameron say, he's got a little bit of push. That's understeer. He's turning the wheel, but the car doesn't want to turn as much as he's steering. And you saw Buddy Rice have the same problem coming to the corner. The car would not turn down. He got up in that gray. We know that's dangerous. And look at the lead that Hunter-Reay has built up over Valiente. Macri trying to look inside Levine.
Macri to pick up a spot. He started 10th. It's underneath Rodolfo Levine. He was looking very good in the early laps of this race, and he gets up high.
Boy, the track has changed so much. We haven't had a lot of running on this track. They started running yesterday morning, and it's a funky line that's down. The Champ cars are running a very, very different line than these Atlantic cars run. You see the rubber from the Champ cars there. The Champ cars come in, turn in very early, brake, and actually downshift 2 gears. These Atlantic cars don't. A slight breathe of the throttle, maybe a touch of the brakes. You see them a little bit higher at the entry of the corner there. They're actually about 20 miles an hour faster than the Champ cars in the middle of the corner because they're not braking and downshifting the way the Champ cars are, but they're also about 40 miles an hour slower into the corner. Look at Levine down on the inside of Macri.
Trying to grab the spot back. So what you're saying, Brian, is essentially they're driving across the rubbered-in racing line for the Champ cars. And, of course, the Champ cars run on a different brand of tire than the Yokohamas on these machines. There's Sepp Koster. Reported slight wall contact. He is in the pit lane. Let's see if we can take another look at what happened. Well, I guess we won't.
Well, anytime you make some contact, even if it's however slight it is on an oval, you want to come in and get the car checked. If it bends something, you don't want to be driving around at 150 miles an hour and have something break. Smart to bring the car in.
On board with Buddy Rice, currently in 7th.
But if you look at the black rubber there, you can see how he comes above it on the way out. And as we follow the car down the front straightaway, when he turns in for one, you'll see that he turns in a little above the IndyCar rubber. Just missed it there, but as you pointed to, the only time they're really on it is in the middle of the corner. So the car has a different effect. They're running on the asphalt. They get on that Champ car rubber. it behaves differently, and then they're back on the asphalt and off that Champ Car rubber on the way out.
The orange car is Rocky Moran Jr. from Sigma Autosports, working the back of Valdemar Coronas, having his best race of the season by far for the Squadra Fortier team.
Corona's doing a great job, and you know, you talk to these young drivers a lot and you tell them, look, you can only go as fast on an oval as the car will let you go, and Coronas obviously has a good car underneath him today. Good car on an oval, fun to drive, bad one. Bob, you can take it instead of me.
No, thank you. We're racing for the usual $100,000 purse this weekend. Looks like Sepp Kostner has to climb out to Scott Pruitt.
Right down here. Just stepped out of the car, and you can look. He's got a right rear bent toe link. Took the rear end out. He thinks he had a little bit of contact. I'm running over here to Sepp right now, getting his helmet off. Sepp, any idea what happened? Did you have a little contact? Patiently await getting his helmet off here. It's off.
Coming out of turn 4, I got budged down going in because I tried to pass Waringa, and he ran me all the way to the inside wall. And on the exit, I think Danch wanted to go on the outside, and Figueroa was on the inside, so I was just stuck there. And somehow there wasn't enough room for Danch or something, and he touched my rear wheel and bent the toe link, so it's unfortunate.
Tough luck. We'll see you next week in Toronto. Bob?
Oh, there's the replay as you were speaking, Scott. And that could have been very, very nasty. Rubber-to-rubber contact is extremely dangerous.
Well, and you actually saw Frank Dunch's left front wheel in between the front and back tires there, and you get a wheel inside, you can put somebody up on their head like that. Not a good way to go open wheel racing. And
Ryan Hunter-Reay is simply checked out. That's the lapped car of Carl Russo he's gone by, and Russo gave him the room he needed to get by.
We still have 33 laps to go, but about this point in time in the race in Milwaukee, there was a strange plume of black smoke from the back of Hunter-Reay's car. I wonder if he's starting to hear noises already.
Don't even think about it. There you see the gap.
He has put his head down. You remember at the Laguna Seca event, he put on a driving clinic trying to make up for that Milwaukee showing. He really was disappointed after Milwaukee. He put on a driving clinic. He's doing the same thing here. What a fantastic job he's doing, and they have given him a car that he can do this with on an oval.
Followed the series earlier this year. There's some new sponsorship on the side pods of Ryan Hunter-Reay's car. Auto by Tel, Internet Automotive Marketing Services Company, with the Hilton Motorsports team for the rest of the season.
Good look at Yasukawa there going past Carl Russo. Yasukawa and Hunter-Reay turning laps just about the same. Valiente actually just a little bit faster than they are. But on that restart, he got separated, and as they get into lap traffic, that's really going to hurt Michael Valiente and his charge back up. Can kind of hang with Yasukawa a little bit, and Hunter-Reay has built up a significant lead.
It's Michael Valiente with Lynx Racing. He has about 6 car lengths to make up to Roger Yasukawa ahead of him. But right now, it's all about Ryan Hunter-Reay, 3 seconds out in front of his teammate. We'll be back to Chicago in just a moment. Welcome back to Chicago Motor Speedway. Along with Brian Till and Scott Pruitt, I'm Bob Varsha. Glad to have you with us for round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. Took a while to get the race started. We had several yellow flags for cars getting into the wall here at Chicago. We've had a number of green flag laps in succession now. We have 28 laps to go in the race, and we're getting some great racing.
3 abreast as they go into turn 1. Levine gets both Macri and Joey Hand. He got a good tow or a good draft off those guys.
I'm sure Joey Hand would appreciate the comment, but of course that's Buddy Rice in for Joey Hand, who's still nursing that broken leg suffered in a testing crash at Milwaukee.
Thanks, Bob. I'm so used to seeing the DSTP colors with Joey Hand in it. But we talked about the draft. These cars are getting 3 to 4 miles an hour in the draft, and that's what's giving them that boost to get by.
Not far up the track ahead of this battle, Michael Valiente runs in 3rd place, just ahead of John Fogarty from Doricott Racing. Scott Pruitt has more on their situation.
Well, Dirk Harrison, Fogarty seems like he's been struggling with the car. Does he got it figured out?
I think he's handling it with the jacker and the bars. We had a pretty good aero push early on. When he got passed by a couple of people, you know how it is, you get in the dirty air, and that hurt us. He's working with it. He's very good. We'll take what we can get right now. He's running a bit quicker than Valiente at the moment. I don't know if we can run him down.
looking for that setup. We talked about these weather conditions changing these cars, working real hard with the bars, trying to get this setup just right. Bob?
That's a good point, Scott. It is significantly warmer than we've seen the last couple of days here in Chicago. And, of course, as we mentioned, this is a 2-day race weekend. You come out Saturday morning and practice. You go out Saturday afternoon and qualify. On Sunday, you race what you've got.
The other thing these Atlantic drivers have not done is drive 70 laps on a set of tires. In the practice sessions, they probably run 20, 25 laps on a set of tires. So this car is going to change significantly throughout the race.
John Fogerty picked up the Toyota Pole Award.
Get a look at Coronas there behind Fogerty, and that there's only one big fan that Coronas has right now, and that's Michael Valiente. He wants to see him get past Coronas, because if they finish the way they are right now, Fogerty will still have the championship lead.
Remember, up by the wall, Ryan Hunter-Reay going underneath.
Stefan Waugh, and Hunter-Reay says, thank you very much for letting me go, but
don't put yourself in the wall trying to get out of my way.
Absolutely. I don't want to have to be dodging parts as I come through here, so kind of a scary moment for Hunter-Reay.
Now remember, our storyline coming in was 5 different winners in as many races. In fact, 5 first-time winners in as many races this year. If Ryan Hunter-Reay can hold on, he will break that string and become the first 2-time winner of the 2002 season. To Scott Pruitt.
I'm here with Keith Hilton. Keith, you're acting pretty confident right now. I mean, it looks like you got things turned around this morning extremely fast. It's playing off here in the race.
Yeah, running 1-2 right now, going pretty well this morning.
Now, you had quite a bit of damage on Ryan's car yesterday. How much work had to go into getting that thing turned around and where you wanted it for today's race?
It was a Herculean effort on the crew. Put that thing together. It was pretty torn up, but got it back together, got our composure this morning, and Ryan's doing the job right now.
Well, Keith's real confident they can keep this thing going. They can get a 1-2 finish. Todd?
That's the way it stands right now. Ryan Hunter-Reay over Roger Yasukawa, then Michael Valiente from Lynx Racing, John Fogerty from Doricott, Waldemar Coronas, Rocky Moran Jr., Rodolfo Levine, Luis Diaz, Jonathan Macri, and Buddy Rice, the top 10.
A good look at Waringa trying to get inside of Grant Riley. Riley struggled all weekend long, kind of running a hybrid chassis there. They had some damage to his car. They've pieced together another one. It's not where it needs to be, and he's just holding on as you see Hunter-Reay come up behind him. And you know, I kind of wonder, with a 5.5-second lead over Yasukawa, when do you tell Ryan Hunter-Reay to let go of the reins just a little bit?
The gap from Yasukawa ahead to his teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay is growing. It's now out to 5.3 seconds.
Valiente trying to hang on to the back of Yasukawa. As we said, he needs to put someone in between himself and Fogerty. He's saying, come on, Coronas, go ahead and pass Fogerty, or I need to catch Yasukawa. If he can put a car in between the two of them when they finish, Valiente will regain the championship lead, and with that new car underneath him for the rest of the season, that will give him a lot of confidence. You see as they come high off the champ car rubber like we talked about earlier, a good look at Valiente. He's got a good car, but you see Fogerty, he's hanging on.
Right out to the wall off turn 4 that time. Now there's a good example of him getting off the rubbered-in champ car line, the dark part of the racetrack, then back on it, now off of it again. As the Atlantic drivers find their own way around this 1-mile oval.
Very different type cars like we talked about. A lot slower at the entry but much faster in the middle. They have to make a much larger arc than the champ cars do. The champ cars, remember, running with a smaller wing package here. They don't have the aerodynamics that the Atlantic cars have, so they drive a different line.
This is the battle for 6th. Rocky Moran Jr. in the bright orange car trying to hold off Rodolfo Levine and Luis Diaz. Scott Pruitt has more on Moran. I think we have a problem with Scott's microphone. There is Moran. We've got you now, Scott.
Little technical problems there. Jim Griffith, how are things going with Rocky right now?
He's doing all right. The track's gotten really loose, and he's having trouble with traffic. Anytime they get into a fast guy, it makes the car really loose. So, but he's working on it. I think he'll be all right. You know, we're not going to run right up front, but we're doing all right.
Just looking for a good solid finish here today?
Yeah, that's all we're looking for.
Oh, there you go. Rocky was hopeful to come in here and get a win. In fact, I talked to him this morning. He goes, we got the car to go to the front. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it's paying off. Bob?
Thanks, Scott. Now, here's the game we announcers get to play. You know, they're talking about, oh, it's a good race, we're just trying to get some points, so on and so forth. This is the 6th of 12 races this season. When do you start thinking championship, long term? What do we have to do? We got to get up front. We got to score. We got to win. Ryan Hunter-Reay having it all his own way right now. His gap over Roger Yasukawa now almost 6 seconds, followed by Michael Valiente, John Fogerty, and Valdemar Coronas. We'll be back to Chicago. Welcome back. Ryan Hunter-Reay continues to lead here at Chicago Motor Speedway in round 6 of the Toyota Atlantic Championship. Just 12 laps to go around this 1 mile oval now on a blistering hot day in Chicago.
Well, you heard Jim Griffith talk about when we get behind somebody, we get loose. Loose is not the word you want to hear on an oval. That means the rear end wants to slide out. A very dangerous condition. What's causing it is both the heat in the racing surface itself and the aerodynamics of these cars. As you get into the dirty air, the air doesn't flow across your wings and underneath those side pods the way they need to. That seriously affects the handling of the car. When the track gets this hot, you get loose.
On board with Buddy Rice in the DSTP Swift chassis, running in 10th place with some clear track ahead of him. Scott Pruitt.
You're down here talking just a minute ago. You're talking to Buddy Rice, called in and said he had a bump at the start of the race, tore up his front wing. Is that causing him some hassle out there?
Yeah, it changed the balance of the car a little bit. He's playing around with a weight jacker, trying to dial it back in, but unfortunately we're struggling a little bit with the balance, so it's going to be a long race.
Now, from here on out, do you think he can hold on to that position, move forward, or just kind of hold on to what he's got?
I think he's more or less struggling to hold on with what he's got. He's racing with Gurney now. I think we'll be happy with what we got here now.
Oh, there you go. Buddy Rice had his hands full right now just trying to hold these guys off. Bob?
It's been a bumpy return for Buddy Rice, sitting in, as we mentioned, for Joey Hand. It's been 2 years since he raced on a steady basis in the series, and frankly, it's been a little tough on him, I think, trying to get the car balanced the way he likes it.
Well, he and Joey Hand have a very different driving style, and it doesn't mean that Buddy Rice has lost anything. He's a good race car driver, but when you look how competitive this series is, and having been out of an Atlantic car for a while, if you're off your game even the slightest bit, you're going to find yourself in those positions where Buddy Rice finds himself right now. He certainly has the talent to drive one of these cars. He just needs to spend more time in it.
Speaking of talent, look at Valdemar Coronas, who started 16th in this field, currently runs in 5th. Rookie out of Lesma, Argentina.
He's doing a tremendous job, and once again, the entire Lynx crew is willing him on. They're saying, come on, catch Fogarty, we need you. As a matter of fact, Grant Riley is the next car that Coronas needs to get past. That is Valiente's teammate, and I guarantee you they will let him go and let him go easily. They want him to hunt down John Fogarty.
John Fogarty led laps 1 through 8. Michael Valiente laps 9 through 13. Then Hunter-Reay took over on lap 14, and he has now clinched the bonus point for most laps led in the race.
You saw Riley pull high there and let Coronas go. You know those Lynx guys were on the radio saying, let him go, let him go, let him go.
Now, if the top 3 finish in the order they currently run, Hunter-Reay, Yasukawa, Valiente, then John Fogarty, things are going to close up even further in the championship. Unofficially, John Fogarty will lead Michael Valiente by just 1 point, with Roger Yasukawa just 7 points further back in 3rd place.
And Fogarty hanging on to the back of Valiente, he's only 9/10 of a second behind him. That's not a lot at this speed. He's hanging on. You get a good look from Buddy Rice's point of view again as he comes down the front straightaway into 1. Above that Champ Car rubber, he comes onto it. You can see the black. You'll see him come off the Champ Car rubber as he comes off the corner and down the front straightaway. This has been a guessing game for these engineers and crews. This track has literally changed every time these cars are on it. And going into this race, it was a crapshoot, and I think the guys at Hilton, I think they've won it.
No question about it. And remember, Roger Yasukawa was much quicker than his teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay in the warm-up. But boy, oh boy, since the green flag laps began in this race, Hunter-Reay has been scalding.
This is what we saw in the warm-up, and that was not only were these Hilton cars fast, they were consistently fast, and they did it by themselves. You know, we said that these cars will get 3 to 4 miles an hour in a draft. I watched Roger Yasukawa this morning turning 26.9s, which were as fast as his full time, all alone.
Good battle going on here. Jonathan Macri, Rodolfo Levine, Alex Gurney now in the top 10, having gotten around Buddy Rice.
Good look from Levine's point of view. He's going to pick up some understeer here. See this car slide high. That dirty air from the car in front of him affecting the way his car handles. And you just have to try to drive through that and make the decision, when do I need to get out of the throttle?
It'll be white flag next time by for the race leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay. As we go back on board with Levine. Drawing closer to Moran.
Going to go to the inside of him as they come into one. Just doesn't have enough to get it done. Oh, and he's hot.
Ooh, and he'll lose all kinds of territory.
Oh, we talked about that dirty air in the understeer. He got in there, tucked right behind him, and couldn't get by.
Last lap for race leader Ryan Hunter-Reay. The scramble continues for those precious championship points behind him, but the checkered flag is in the flagman's hands. Off the final corner comes Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he will take the checkered flag, becoming the first two-time winner of the season in the Toyota Atlantic Championship.
And what a clinic he put on. Boy, if I was going to run on an oval, I want to run in a Hilton car.
On board with Levine, your unofficial order of finish: Hunter-Reay, Yasukawa, Valiente, Fogarty, and Coronas. To Scott Pruitt.
Keith, you guys are making this look easy.
Yeah, it went well today. I mean, Brian and Roger both did an outstanding job. Our sponsors are here, Auto Bytel, Autobacks. It's just a great team effort. I mean, it's a tribute to my team. What can I say?
Congratulations on the 1-2. Bob?
Another victory. The defending champions here at Chicago Motor Speedway. Hilton Motorsports comes up aces once again. A 1-2 finish for Ryan Hunter-Reay and Roger Yasukawa. We'll take a quick break and return to Chicago Motor Speedway to hear from our winner. Coverage of the CART Toyota Atlantic Championship, the elite of the CART development ladder, is being brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. Back at Chicago Motor Speedway, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Roger Yasukawa have brought home a 1-2 finish for Hilton Motorsports. They're standing by with Scott Pruitt.
Ryan, 1-2. I mean, you guys are making this look easy. Can you give the other guys a break?
Well, the biggest thing is we had such a setback this weekend. We got a huge wreck there on Saturday morning practice, and it put us back the whole weekend. Finally, we got it together here. Went from 6th to 1st. I couldn't be happier. I have to thank the whole Hilton team and Auto Bytel for their new partnership with us. And I also have to congratulate Roger on a 1-2 to Hilton Motorsports. It's something else. I can't even talk right now.
Congratulate.
Thank you.
Roger, we talked before the race. You were real happy with your car. Looks like it paid off today.
Yeah, certainly the car was great. You know, I didn't get a really good start and good restart, so that put me back a bit. But, you know, I finished second, 1-2. You know, Ryan did another great job, and, you know, happy for finishing second.
Terrific job. Bob?
All right, thanks very much, Scott. In fact, Ryan Hunter-Reay from 9th to 5th in points with that victory today. Here's a look at the final results. Hunter-Reay over Yasukawa, Michael Valiente in 3rd. John Fogarty picked up the bonus point for pole position, and he desperately needed it, coming home 4th behind the man chasing him in the championship. Valdemar Coronas, his best ever performance in the series. Luis Diaz, Jonathan Macri, Rocky Moran Jr., Rodolfo Levine, and Alex Gurney round out the top 10. Let's get back down to Scott Pruitt.
It looks like that new car is paying off for you.
Yeah, the car was great today. I mean, we haven't been too strong on the ovals last year and this year in Milwaukee, but in the race the car was great. However, I think that we could do a little bit better on top speed here. I think we're struggling just a little bit, but for sure, after our slump, it's a great finish, and I'm happy for the team.
Terrific job. Second in the points, off to Toronto. Bob?
And that gap, when we get to Toronto, will be one slim point from John Fogarty to Michael Valiente. Roger Yasukawa's second place finish today moves him into 3rd place with 67 points. Then Rocky Moran Jr., Ryan Hunter-Reay, as I mentioned, from 9th to 5th with that victory today. The season really seems to be going his way now.
Here come the Hilton guys. You look at Yasukawa on his way up and Ryan Hunter-Reay too. The rest of the season should be very interesting.
Jonathan Macri in 8th place. I am sure every driver in today's field is glad to get out of the car on this very, very hot day at Chicago Motor Speedway. All weekend long, we've had a great view right there of the Chicago skyline. But on this hot, hazy day, no sign of it. I'm Bob Varsha for Brian Till and Scott Pruitt. We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon, and we want to remind you the Atlantics will be back to road racing 7 days from now. You'll have live coverage of the 7th round from Toronto, Canada. The second half of the season starts north of the border, 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, July 6th. We'll see you then. So long, everyone.